Developing a successful and long-term YouTube campaign takes planning, meticulous testing, and the right budget strategy to ensure you're effectively gathering data without overspending before your campaign is mature enough to warrant doing so. There are two initial phases to developing a successful YouTube campaign. Phase one is max conversions. This is going to be about 2 weeks long. In phase one, your goal is to begin to lay the foundation for a long-term campaign by feeding Google's machine learning with as many conversions as possible. Your budget in this phase should be controlled. Google recommends a budget of at least 10 to 20 times your CPA. So if you're selling a product that costs $100, Google recommends and encourages a budget of $1,000 to $2,000 a day. While this budget strategy may work for some advertisers, we found through our own data that testing with budgets as little as $200 to $500 a day for products that cost $100 can work. So how many videos per campaign should you test? I recommend running 3 to 5. This allows each of your videos to get enough impression data to determine performance. Including too many videos can be counterproductive because in many cases, the majority of your budget will often go to 2 to 3 videos, leaving the others in the dust without a fair chance. There are several different types of campaign goals you can utilize with YouTube. This gives Google's machine learning a North Star, so to speak, in terms of what your exact goals are, so both you and the machine learning are on the same page. In this phase, we recommend using Google's max conversions goal. The max conversions goal will spend your daily budget in full with the goal of generating the greatest number of conversions as possible. If it takes a day or two for your campaign to start spending, don't be alarmed. Max conversion campaigns typically see wild performance variances as Google's machine learning works to figure out what channels, demographics, and audiences perform best with your product or service. If your campaign performs poorly in this phase, don't be surprised. This is par for the course with YouTube ads, and it's also where a lot of advertisers get frustrated and pause their campaigns. Allowing your campaign to run at an adequate budget and time period during this phase will let Google's machine learning gain confidence by testing different videos, CPMs, and placement tiers. Not all traffic is created equal on YouTube, and placement tiers will drastically affect conversion rates. Once you find stability during the maximize conversions phase, where your CPA is coming in at approximately the same number for 3 to 4 straight days, you would then want to pivot your conversion goal to a target CPA goal, where you're setting a specific cost target as your North Star. So to put it simply, you're essentially telling the machine learning that you're willing to pay a maximum of X per conversion, with the goal that the machine learning will do its best to generate you new customers at that number. If your max conversion campaigns are profitable, sometimes it can be advantageous to continue with max conversions until those campaigns die off from a performance standpoint. Then when they do, pivot to target CPA campaigns. An interesting example is over the years, in some cases, our team had campaigns spent hundreds of thousands of dollars profitably with max conversion goals. Once the campaigns become compressed from a margin standpoint or profitability standpoint, we then would reboot those campaigns as target CPA goals. Phase 2 is pivoting your campaign to a TCPA or target CPA. Once your YouTube campaign is seeing consistent results in the max conversion phase, you can then safely pivot to a target CPA campaign goal. This provides YouTube's machine learning with a specific North Star in terms of what you're hoping to pay for each action. This is your effective cost per action, or ECPA. By this stage, the platform is beginning to develop confidence in regards to your customer avatar after seeing which demos, channels, and audiences are performing best. This is where you can begin to slowly scale your campaign. This is also the most critical stage of your campaign in terms of watching performance very closely and beginning to trust the machine learning to do its job. I recommend scaling campaigns at increments of 10% every 24 to 72 hours, and then closely monitoring performance before scaling again. If you have a day or a few days where performance is poor, wait to make any adjustments so the machine learning can regain its footing. Remember, you just pivoted your campaign to a target CPA goal, and it's still in the early stages of a potential multi-month or even multi-year campaign. So take your time and be patient. Your campaign is new, and even though it may have seen success over previous weeks, if you increase your budget too quickly, it could spiral out of control temporarily while it reestablishes itself. In some cases, campaigns can spiral out from a profitability standpoint in this phase, and you may have to restart your campaign at a smaller budget, inching it up every few days until you see more consistency. Sometimes it can take spending $20,000 or more for the machine learning to get enough data to confidently hit your daily budget while adhering to your target CPA goal. The first 30 days of running a YouTube campaign can be rocky, but remember, you're in the big leagues now. You're advertising in the deepest ocean available. Getting to this stage is an accomplishment in its own right, and many advertisers tap out during the first 30 days for a variety of reasons. Be patient, let the machine learning gather data, and build its confidence and scale slowly. Phase 3, now it's time to scale. If you can get your campaigns to spend $5,000 to $10,000 a day while you're hitting your target CPA or ROAS goals, you've reached phase 3. Now it's time to get strategic and scale your campaign out. There's a good chance your campaign will see similar results at 3 to 4 times that budget, but just remember to take your time and to get there and look at your YouTube ads account as a multi-month or multi-year project. The path to getting there is often not a linear experience like you'd expect to see on Facebook, Instagram, or with native advertising. And as your campaign continues to rack up spend and consistently hit your target CPA goals, it'll be tempting to scale your campaign. Google's platform will also prompt you with recommendations within their UI, encouraging you to scale with forecasts of results you can expect to see if you make those recommended adjustments. If you have a campaign that is performing exceptionally well, spending its full budget every day, consistently hitting its target CPA goal, or optimally coming in under the target CPA goal, then you may have a potential candidate to follow Google's recommendations. If your campaign is up and down in terms of profitability or struggling to hit its daily budget, there's a strong likelihood you won't see a recommendation to scale your campaign, as Google's machine learning still may not have the confidence to do so. As you begin to scale your campaign more aggressively, you're gonna have good and bad days. I recommend looking at your campaign performance on a 7-day average basis. Meaning, rather than scrutinizing your campaign if it has a bad day, zoom out and look at the campaign from a performance standpoint on a weekly basis. If you overreact and make too many changes to your campaign on a daily basis, this can cause your campaign to spiral out of control, or even stop spending because it's been overly restricted. Remember that YouTube is a deep ocean and machine learning isn't perfect, but the more data you feed it, the higher likelihood that your campaign will hit its goals.